Welcome to In Progress, a podcast to help you grow and learn how to become a better version of yourself. Now, here's your host, Michael Cirigliano.
Welcome to In Progress. I'm your host, Michael Cirigliano, here with Realtor extraordinaire, Manny Strickland. How you doing today, Manny?
Doing good, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. So I brought Manny on today because he comes from a background of sales and he switched over to real estate. What was it, 2 or 3 years ago?
2 years ago, started the process longer than that, but finally started getting into it August of 2020. It would have been like right during the pandemic area.
Great time to start.
Love to see it.
So how are you liking real estate so far?
Honestly, I absolutely love it. Just doing all the years of sales that I've done. I mean, I've been doing this sales since I was 18. I'm 33. So I have 15 years of exactly. Sitting in stores, being in the mall, sitting in a box day to day and stuff like that. And making money is cool, but it's even better when you can actually do it on your own time.
Exactly.
And not have to worry about someone lording over you the entire time, trying to push their agendas on you. You know, you can kind of work on your own time, do stuff the way you want to do and run your own business, which I think is super important overall, especially now with the fact that no one wants to work for somebody else, you know. No one wants a boss. You know, I enjoy having a mentor.
Yeah.
I don't want a boss over my shoulder telling me what I'm supposed to do all the time, knowing in some cases I know more than you do.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm not doing all that.
In most cases.
In some cases. I'm not going to say most. I'm not that damn good.
So you came from cell phone sales.
Yep.
And what got you into cell phone sales?
I got yanked to a kiosk. As anyone know, you already know the hand wave. Hey, man, let me talk to you for a second.
Yep.
Reeled me in because I was an idiot and like 20 years old and didn't have a cell phone at the time. I mean, you gotta think this is what, 2009? So it's not like everyone just had something unless you had like a sidekick or something like that.
The sidekick, yes.
You know, listen, I pushed plenty of those in my day. It was like work. So I'm just sitting there and my buddy Pat pulls me in. He's a friend of me now. You know, just going over everything. Got me to sign up for a phone. The more I talked to him, he was like, I see you all the time. What do you do? And I was working at Finish Line, literally around the corner at the time. Yeah. Told him what I was getting into. He's like, have you thought about doing sales over here? Little do I know, it's only because they didn't have nobody. You know how that shit is.
Yes,
so trying to fill out the staff, try to get a referral thing real quick and get paid.
So they pulled you in to employ you, not to sell you a phone.
Oh no, that motherfucker pulled me in to sell me a phone. 100%. I just also happened to get a job out of it. So it ended up working out good. So I started out just at T-Mobile, working in the kiosk by myself 10 hours a day. Just because anybody I worked with always, you know, you're a senior guy, you just skip out, hit the golf course, something else, and just leave me to the wolves.
Yep. That's how it goes all the time.
Out at Marketplace at that. So not always the best experience. Well, from T-Mobile to Sprint, worked at Sprint for a couple years. Obviously, I know that's where I started meeting you through once I was phasing out of that.
Yep.
You know, kept it up at Finish Line, became a manager, stayed in sales over the years through college, getting out of college and all that. And I had a couple buddies that worked at AT&T. You know how that thing goes, and just ended up getting swooped in for 6 years.
So did you like doing cell phone sales for a minute, or did you always kind of like know this wasn't it?
I like sales, which is super weird because I never thought I would like it. You know, just
why is that?
You know me, I've always kind of been introverted to myself at least, or at least I see myself as that. You wouldn't know because all everyone says I do is talk my ass off and do whatever. But I was a very shy, quiet kid through middle school, high school, started out in college. I wasn't doing nothing too crazy, but the more I got into sales, I realized I enjoy helping people. I did enjoy talking to people in a way, and I like making money. So it's sales, as we all know, you kind of make your own paycheck, and it made it easier that way. Like, all right, I can just talk to people on a daily basis and help them out and get paid. That's stupid. Why would I not want to do that? Right. Like I'm talking to a professor at RIT, and he's talking about making, you know, $55,000 a year. I'm like, bro, I make more than you. Yeah. I'm living in a dorm. This ain't for me. And I was all set with college at that point.
Absolutely. And that's the thing too with sales in general. Like me being in sales too. Like you dictate how much you make. You know what I'm saying? Like you can go into work, like especially with what you're doing. You can go in and just be like, or in your case, you probably don't even got to come in. It's just like, fuck it, I don't feel like it today. And then you just know you got to double down the next couple days. You got to really work your ass off to come back from it.
Right.
But it's like you're not there for the hourly. So you get as much as you work for, which is a dope concept if you have that kind of drive.
It's honestly refreshing. Like working at all these mall stores or retail, being stuck literally a box. You know how it is day to day. You go in, there's glass windows, you can see outside, everyone's having fun, it's 90 degrees, what a time to be alive. And just fucking twiddling your thumbs at a table while Mr. and Mrs. are mad about their cell phone bill and something that someone messed up in Buffalo 30 days ago, and now you're sitting there cleaning up the pieces. And I'm like, this is for the birds.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I'm all set on this. I'm in my 30s. Like, I'm not going to sit here and continue to do this for somebody else. Like, now, after I got into real estate, being able to take my time, like you said, I could work from home if I want to. Half the time I end up working from the bar, chilling out with my friends and stuff like that, just because it never stops. I'm taking calls at 8, 9 o'clock at night, pacing around outside, wishing I had my computer so I could type shit up. And it's like, all right, but you grind and put in these hours now so that I don't have to do that 5 years from now.
Exactly.
I want to be able to enjoy my time, enjoy the rest of my 30s, you know, enjoy my friends and my family, and do stuff that's not holidays. Getting double time on Thanksgiving. You want to be in the mall at 5 o'clock on Thanksgiving, you want to be at dinner.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I was, I actually got a phone call from my buddy Brian Oman, who works at a House Capital right next door. Worked with me at AT&T for years. Was getting a tattoo, literally just calls me, I pick up the phone because I normally ignore him because he talks forever. And I'm serious, man. I can have a 45-minute conversation with him every time I pick up the phone. Love him to death, though. So I'm sitting there getting stenciled, and I pick up the phone, like, hello, what's going on? And he literally opens his mouth. He's like, have you done your fucking real estate work yet? And at the time, I was like, no, not at all. I've been fucking around, like, doing everything else in this world. And it kind of, like, gave me that kickstart, like, all right, yeah, I should probably do this. Let me get on it. This is Wednesday. Went to Pittsburgh that weekend. I got back Sunday. I enrolled in a real estate course Monday. So now we're talking mid-February, getting in the swing of things. And then 3 weeks later, a pandemic hit. I don't know, something about COVID. Everything shut down. It was
I heard of that, yeah.
Really wild. 2 weeks, stop the spread, you know. And finally getting
2
out
years
of it.
later.
We beat COVID, everybody. let's go, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, so I guess I picked the perfect time to get into something like that.
Right.
It did work out in a way because I was already trying to phase myself out of cell phone sales. So I'm like, all right, I'll do the course for a couple months, do my thing at home. If it's slow, I'll try to work something out on the side.
Yeah.
And I'll be out of this, you know. I'll do a part-time come next year. I'm out. The pandemic had other ideas. So did AT&T. If you don't know, we all lost like 80% of our friends and family that worked with us for a long time. Yeah. In a way, I was part of that coin. There were some other things that were going around, but it all happened at the perfect time. Yeah. I was like, all right, cool. So now I went from having 50 hours a week at work to having 0 hours a week at work, where I could just sit and bang out the course and test and everything out, go do everything I had to do. Until I got stuck with, what are we talking about? The testing facilities. Because of COVID, nobody was open. Oh, yeah. So I finished the course. I'm like, cool, I'm going to go take my test. It's going to be awesome. Like, well, you need a proctored exam, which means you need to be in person. And all the centers are closed. So I had to waste 45 days waiting for a place to finally open so I can go take that test. Yeah. So that I can then wait to get the results from that to schedule a state test. They weren't doing state tests because of COVID. So I had to wait another 30 days on top of that. At this point, half the shit I thought I knew, I no longer remember. Yeah. So I'm trying to cram before every exam just to get all the real estate stuff down pat. And got everything, passed both tests first time through, so I'll take
Impressive.
It. Allegedly, 60% of people fail on their first try taking a test.
I was part
of
it.
And then on the state test. So, I mean, at least you're halfway there. At least you don't got to worry about it anymore at that point, you know?
Yeah. That test, bro, it was... So I did the in-person class and in-person test. And when I did the in-person class, it's just like, I don't know, bro, like learning for me, just like trying to learn shit for me is like so difficult. I did the in-person and then I signed up for the online course and I literally just like couldn't retain shit. And then I took the test from the in-person. I failed the first time. And then I bombed it, bro.
That test is the worst. But at first, they don't give you a score. So you don't know how bad you really failed. So you're just sitting there like, so what did I do?
In the in-person, it was, so I went to, the Greater Rochester
yeah, the GRAR?
Yeah. I went there and I took the test over there. I think it's like in Pittsburgh or something like that. And I failed the first time. And what's cool is they give you the test that you failed. And you can look over it again.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and it was like, so it was cool. Like I got it and I'm like, okay, I know everything that I failed. I'm going to memorize what I didn't get right. And then they let you go and take it again the same day. So I'm like, word. So I went in and I took the test again. I'm thinking I passed. I might not have got 100, but I passed.
Right.
I failed by a point. I was tight because I couldn't take it again. Now I got to pay for the class again. I failed by like a point or two, and I'm like, bro, I was like 21, 22 at the time.
I'd been mad as fuck.
I was mad as a bitch, and then I just like slowly just descended back into cell phone sales. I was like, oh my God.
We've all tried to get out of cell phone sales for some reason or another. At some point, you're in that job like, yo, I'm not trying to do this right now.
Absolutely. What was your reason? What was like the thing that made you like, fuck this?
Honestly, it ended up being a lot of the hours in your own time that you have. Like, especially me as someone that like, I'm bipolar, bipolar 2, always struggle with mental illness and stuff like that. So I hated that if I was having a day, I had to go to work. No matter what type of day I had, good or bad, I had to wake up, roll out of bed, and go to work. And then in some cases, even though you're scheduled till 6, you might not get out till 8 or 9. So whatever plans you had just got shot to hell.
Absolutely.
There's nothing you can do about it. Now you got to be, or the next thing you know, it's that good old boat shift, that 9 to 9.
Yup.
You close and you come back the next morning. I'm already having a day, so only time I have to do is go home, sleep, and then wake up again. I'm all set. I really wasn't feeling that after a while.
Yeah.
And just, I had a couple different friends that was in real estate, James Gray, Julie Ullman, Brian's wife. They were always killing it, doing good, and I could see the success that they were having. And I was like, okay, that's hard work, but you can do that. Like, there's no reason you've done sales all your life.
Yeah, exactly.
How can you, and you always succeeded, so what's one more? You beat all this other dumb shit going on, so ain't nothing harder than that.
Yeah, 100%.
So you might as well just jump in there. And like Flynn, next thing you know, continued through everything, passed the test somehow, first time, both times. I got my test, and I was actually on the phone with Julie and Brian at the time, just telling them, like, oh, I passed, like, this is awesome, cool. Like, oh, we'll get you in touch with, like, my broker, let him know he's always looking for new talent. I'm like, all right, cool, yeah, give him my information, that's cool, that doesn't bother me none. I'm still on the phone with them, he leaves me a voicemail within 15 minutes.
Damn.
So now I'm like, all right, am I gonna squander a possible job opportunity? Like, do I just sit around and collect unemployment and just like chill, or do I actually like hop into something? I was like, all right, man, that's cool. It's what, 11 o'clock? I could be there at 1.
Oh, so you jumped right in.
I jumped right in, but I fucked up because I also forgot I lost like 50 pounds. So I'm trying on every pair of dress clothes I have. Nothing fits. I'm speeding out to Marshall's and Joseph A. Banks trying to get a blazer or something so I look good. Cuffs are down to here because I had to get something way shorter than I needed to. He told me about everything, Norchard, the company, what it works for, what was going on, and I had already talked to some other companies. So after getting word from him about how everything was going on, I automatically signed up just because I knew it was a great fit to me. Locally owned, veteran-owned place, real family-like atmosphere. It's small. There's not a million people in your office taking up everybody's time. If I need to ask a question, I can ask a question. Yeah, I'm gonna get an answer one way or another, and it's a little more personable. Yeah, which
as opposed to like a large one where it's just like
I work for enough large companies, and I've been a number a million times. I don't like it. It's fucking trash.
I'm good on that.
Exactly. So I signed everything that day, started in the office, like gave me any tools and things I needed to get started, and just rolled on from there.
Damn. So what made you like, so starting out, obviously you don't have really a pipeline.
Not at all.
So how did you start that? Like, was it like networking to everyone you knew, or was it like, did you pay for ads? Like, how'd that go?
A little bit of everything. A lot of it comes from, most time, especially work for the company, part of your dues and stuff helps pay for leads. So you just get cold leads in the system, cold call people, see if anyone's clicked on the website or something like that, just to gauge somebody's interest and see where they're at, see how everything is. And if not, you just strike out onto the next one. I pay for some Facebook ads. I like Instagram, Facebook, anything like that. I have to think at least a pretty decent social media presence. So being able to share that stuff with my friends and family and know that they're gonna share it and get it back. That's what I cared about more than anything, was word of mouth. Yeah. Because anyone that has worked with me in the past, whether it was a client on AT&T, Finish Line, anything like that, are still in my life. So a lot of them are telling other people what I was getting into. I'm still dropping off my cards at AT&T like they didn't let me go. It's in every drawer to every table. There's a stack with my face on it. Man, just throwing them out. I'm back 5 hours later like, fuck this. You're not going to just waste my cards. I spent money on this. About to get every single one of these. And it just started rolling. Like, you get one lead that comes in for, a consult. You start talking to them, get them signed up, and it's like, okay, that's not so bad. Like, talking on the phone for me has always been something that I won't say I struggle with, but I can't stand it. Like, if you can't tell me from Adam over the phone, I'm just some regular schmo at that point. Like, you have no clue who I am or what I'm about. Yeah. So being absolutely like get somebody down in front of you in person or at a showing and talk to them and see what's going on makes everything way easier. Yeah. Because if not, you are a number again at that point. Like, what makes you different from me and the realtor if it wasn't for my personality and what I do? You know what I'm saying? Exactly. It's not always even about standing out as much of like, what can you do for somebody and is that gonna carry over? Like anyone can do something crazy or like do whatever. It's bad enough that I'm covered in tattoos trying to show houses out in parenting and shit like that. It's nothing worse than trying to
I was wondering about that.
Bro, imagine being at someone's house at 8 o'clock at night. I'm an idiot, so I'm dressed in all black, hand tattoos, with a flashlight trying to work your combination lock on the door.
Like, all right, calling the police. You got no business being here. Dude, I wondered about that because, like, obviously you're showing houses all over the place. Yeah. You're tatted the fuck up. Yeah, it's like, bad. The fuck up. Yeah. And you being mixed. Yeah. Like, so you showing houses out on the east side, I'm like, how's that go? Like, your clientele is pretty much...
all over the place.
Is it all over the place now?
So, I've got first-time home buyers. I have people that have had 2 or 3 homes that I sold, all age groups, races, genders, whole 9 yards. Like, it's all about getting in front of me, man. We've worked with how many people over the years? I mean, you got to think of the people you talk to on a daily basis. You know, brother's a bartender. I'm in and out of places all the time. I live on Park Ave. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you start blending in at that point, it makes things a lot easier. But some of those situations are weird because you get in, and I've had neighbors come from across the street. Hey, what are you doing? Showing this house, man. Like, you got a problem? Am I the only person that's been in and out of this driveway today? I'm confused. Like, what are we talking about? Why are people in and out of this house? Man, there's a for sale sign literally in the front yard. There's somebody's picture on it and everything. There's a phone number. You can call. You can do whatever you want. Like, what do we... This is a nuisance. I'm like, man, I'm out. We're not going to keep doing this. Yeah, exactly. We're in the house. Like, I'm not going to sit here and deal with people like this, you know? Yeah. So nothing too crazy outside of the old, like, my favorites, like, oh, you're the realtor? I'm like, listen, just because I wear Hawaiian shirts, cut off jean shorts and my tattoos out, doesn't mean I'm not a realtor.
Oh, you're the guy.
I'm just comfortable.
Yeah, like, 100%.
Where I still remember I was taking pictures for a listing with someone. I came out like an idiot. I just had a tattoo appointment, so I have a giant bandage on my leg.
Didn't give a shit.
I did, but I had to be there. What was I going to do? Not show up? True. I didn't have time to go home, and it was right around the corner. So I'm like, all right.
Fuck it.
Hoodie, shorts, blood and ink coming down my leg, Crocs.
Crocs.
Stupid. And I'm there like, did you get hurt? I was like, no. Just some more ink. Nothing to see here, folks, you know. Go to photographer, blam bam, you know, keep it moving. How you doing? Out the door. But, I would think that being the day and age where now stuff like that's more open. Absolutely. And I'm glad because there have been people. I did have one lady that's like, why would you do that shit to your body? Like poking my hand and stuff like that. And I'm like,
you just gotta sit there.
I'm like, I like art. Like, what do you want? Nah, I don't just sit there for nothing. You know this. I was like, I like art. Like this is, you know. She's like, well, just why don't you do paintings or something like that? I'm like, because I can't draw a stick figure for shit. and you want me to sit here and paint on walls? Like, man, this is not that type of dude. So this is what I go do. You know what I'm saying? That was the last time I saw her, but.
So you typically don't get any real like kickback? Because I feel like you're like the new age realtor. You know what I'm saying? Like every time you think of a realtor, you think of like suit and tie, older dude. Yeah. Been doing it for like 40 years, and then there's you. You know, 30 years old, tatted up, dressed in clothes that kids our age would wear. Yeah. And it's like, dude, that's just how it. I feel like that's a new thing. So. And I feel like if you're dealing with older people,
it can hurt you sometimes. But like I always say, you dress for the people you're working with.
Right.
If I needed to dress up, I got plenty of that. That's not a problem. You know, thankfully, like I restocked all that after I got Had to. But I also like my personality is who I am. And as I said, like I'm selling myself to somebody. Anyone can fill out a contract, have a lawyer, and just put out fires. Realistically speaking, if you have the nerve for it, anyone can do that. Yeah. But like for me to actually like show up and talk to someone the way I talk to them, not dumb things down and be myself. Like you said, like if you see me hoodie, Carhartt jacket, Yeezys, boots, like it doesn't matter. Like I'll pop up. However, like I said, I've literally shown up in Hawaiian shirts and joggers, Ray-Bans on all over the place. Absolutely manic on like coffee, like quad espresso shot from Sasso, like just wild. But like I like to try to foster that, like you said, like, and it's not even like being a new age thing, but like, why am I going to be something that I'm not?
Yeah.
If I'm lying to you, you're not going to buy nothing from me anyways, because I'm lying.
That's fact.
So I'd rather wear the clothes I want to and at least keep it respectable. So like I said, yeah, the Hawaiian shirts are a gimmick, love them to death, but like, other than that, I do dress somewhat normal, but like you said, within our 30 age group of like where we're at. I got all these shoes, I'm gonna wear them. I'm not gonna put them to waste. That's right. Fucking stupid.
And I mean, if you're dealing with someone who's around our age, shit, even like 40, 50, like they'll probably see you and be like, all right, where? Shit, that's dope. Where'd you get it?
They didn't dress in a suit and tie all their life.
Yeah.
Some of them might have, but the rest of them, like if you're a hard-working person, you know it's sweatpants on the weekends, your work clothes during the week.
That's right.
Because I want to be comfortable. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that I'm trying to go to showings in sweatpants and hoodies all the time. But if it's Sunday, like Sunday, you don't wear jeans on Sundays. That's a wild thing to do. Like,
exactly.
I'm good. So
right.
You know, it is what it is. But I think that my clients and people I work with appreciate me for that, because I'm not there to do something that I'm not. Like, I'd rather be me and continue to, you know, sell myself or whatever it may be, but at least keep it genuine.
Absolutely.
And just work from there. You're not always going to be the best fit for the person that's in front of you. That's a real estate flash fact. Like, it's not gonna, you're not gonna work with everybody. And if that's the case, I let people know, like, if you think it's gonna be a thing where we can work, that's cool. If not, there's other people in my office that you might have a better fit for, you know, to work with them, kick a referral fee, and keep it moving. But I've been good with everybody. So I have never run into that issue, thankfully, you know, knock on wood. Sooner or later, I'm sure it'll happen, but until then, I'm gonna continue to just keep it moving and doing what I gotta do.
Okay, yeah. So how do you like doing the real estate? Like, now that you're in it, now that you're not clocking in anymore, now that you're not answering to some higher up saying that your numbers aren't on par with what they should be based on the traffic that you're getting in your doors and all that bullshit. How are you liking this, where it's all self-dependent? Like, you're not getting an hourly. How do you like that?
You just gave me a flashback to Vietnam, man. I hate you for that. Have you looked at your numbers today? Like, man, I'm not looking at this traffic counter anymore.
Absolutely not.
But honest, it's been a blessing. It can be a little difficult at times because you have to have that accountability. Yeah. Like, there's no one on your shoulder now telling you to show up at work on time or to do this or get to the office. There's plenty of days where I'd miss a Zoom call or I'm sleeping because I had a day, so I'm still in bed or doing something I'm not supposed to be doing. But for the most part, I try to be here, 8:30, 9 o'clock, reach out to the clients I do have, be available for calls and everything else before I go out and do any showings during the day. It's a lot of catching up with clients in the morning, emailing people, working on social media probably like in early afternoon. Yeah. And then after that, any showings you have or people getting out of work at 4 or 5. So I went out to Greece at 3:30 today, done at 5:30, slid back out here, chill with you and chop it up, and then that's my day. But there are some days if it's slower, I don't have clients, so I just fiddle my sitting here like, yo, what am I supposed to do today other than play PlayStation? Like, am I supposed to sit on FanDuel and just gamble all day? It's fucking,
I mean, you could.
It was a college football day. I did take 3 hours off today. Just a smidge. But that's cool that you can do that because you got to think. I keep using that analogy, being in a box. Yeah. There is nothing worse than sitting at a job where you just have someone on you all the time and you're looking outside and you can see what's going on and you can't leave. Or as a blizzard, it's a national winter emergency and you still had to get up, shovel your car out, and go to work. Right. Now being able to, if I am having a day, go to the office a little later, have lunch here, or bring people around. Yeah. It's way easier, and it is on my time. So if I do have some other stuff going on, like I try to work around it as best as possible. But thankfully, all my friends and family are supportive of fact, knowing like, hey man, I know we have plans, but if you got to take that call, like run out for a little bit, do what you got to do. Yeah. Like, which is cool. And that was a big struggle at first though too. You got to watch how you give your time accordingly. Because I've had clients text me at 1 o'clock in the morning. Wild.
For fucking what?
I don't know. It happened at AT&T, dude. That shit ain't nothing new.
Oh yeah, you guys had the AT&T like corporate phones. Fuck that, nah.
Bro, it was worse. But
my number don't go out to nobody.
Listen, we've all made that mistake here and there. But it's happened. Like someone will give me like a real estate question, and I'll answer them like, I didn't expect you to answer me. I didn't expect you to text me. So here we are. You know what I'm saying? So you have to set that boundary. Like after a certain while, I'll tell people like I'm not answering my phone past 8 p.m. Yeah. If it's an emergency and you double text me and call me, I'll pick up. But like I would appreciate if you didn't reach out to me on OBS like past a certain time, because I have to have that time for myself to recharge and like get through the day, see things, eat dinner, and all that stuff. So I'd rather have that time to like, all right, this is my hard cutoff point. I'm up at 7 for the most part in the morning anyways. Mm-hmm. You have a great chunk of the day that you can get a hold of me. If you can't get a hold of me in 13 hours, I don't know what to say.
You're doing something wrong at that point.
Something you should
manage your time better.
Stop working days. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you figure it out?
So with you mentioned your mental health and all of that stuff. And then you also mentioned that you are introverted.
Yeah.
So how does the mental health, like, how do you manage your mental health in an industry where you need to be, from my outside looking in perspective, probably the most charismatic person that people talk to?